The President Nana Akufo-Addo says his government is determined to build a country that will no longer be dependent on charity and handouts.
Speaking to Ghanaian community on the margins of the African CEO Forum in Geneva, Switzerland, the President said he is poised at managing resources of Ghana to spur a speedy growth.
Ghanaians across the globe have carved a niche for themselves. They occupy top-notch positions in organizations and doing very well in business and other areas of endeavor, and such is the situation in Geneva, Switzerland. This is the first time the President Nana Akufo-Addo is meeting citizens in Geneva in his new capacity as a leader of Ghana. He was impressed about their creditable performance in their chosen fields of work. This meeting brought together Ghanaian businessmen and professionals in Geneva who are willing to come back home to establish businesses. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC, Mr. Yofi Grant, who accompanied the President, noted there are some reforms needed to be made to accentuate Ghana as an attraction. He reiterated the government has removed all nuisance taxes, which hitherto were stumbling blocks to the growth of business.
We've actually put together very auspicious and audacious ambitions and goals. First, to make Ghana the best place to invest in. Secondly, the best place to do business. Now, why it's important to you is that in our quest for investment is always about capital. Now, capital is in many ways. There's a physical cash capital, but there's also intellectual capital, and there's also social capital. And so I would urge you to relook Ghana again, because one day Ghana will be just like Switzerland is. And instead of you coming here, you will come to Ghana.
President Akufo-Addo said his government is ready to harness the national resources, both human and material, in order to build a nation without aid. He gave the assurance that government will strengthen the private sector and ensure a significant reduction in the country's fiscal deficit from 9% to 6% this year.
I'm saying that we now have run out of excuses in justifying that set of circumstances because we have it within us to create a new paradigm. What is that paradigm? That we can build a Ghana beyond aid. We can build a Ghana which is no longer dependent on handouts and charity from well-meaning people of whatever hue and sort, to be able to say that we, from our own resources, with our own intelligence and relying on our own resources, can mobilize public action to be able to confront the issues of development effectively. I am fully committed to that view of Ghana's future. And I believe from the bottom of my heart that if indeed we all put our shoulders to the wheel, we can achieve that. We can achieve that by Ghana beyond aid.
He said government is instituting strategies to create an enabling environment for business and investment.
Within 2 months of coming to office, we were compelled to produce a budget. This budget, for the first time in the history of Ghana, actually received applause. People went out of their way in many of the major cities of our country drinking and celebrating the budget. It's an unusual development, largely because they saw in the budget clear signs of a government that was committed to doing two things. One, trying to bring relief to people who had a very difficult time in the last few years, and at the same time setting the ground rules, hopefully for growth and development. The budget then is looking also at providing a lead for the private sector to be able to grow our economy. We put inside the budget, despite the challenges that Yofi talked about the absence of fiscal space, $100 million relief stimulus package for Ghanaian local industry within the confines of the budget. All of this part of the desire we have to grow the economy as rapidly as possible.
The President is expected back to Ghana on Thursday, March 23rd.